Okay guys, I am going to show you how to make this knockout design in Silhouette Studio. I have, as you can see here, I have the business edition, and this is Merry Christmas, and I'm just going to show you how to do it. So since I've already made this one, I'm going to move this over to the side, and we're going to come back over, and I have my screen large so you guys can see it. And my cutting mat is, I have it on 12 by 6 because that's what I usually save things as when I'm going to put them on a t-shirt. I use this so I can make sure that everything is within the screen. I have my 12 by 12 mat. I have my grid lines on. I like those. You can use them or not. That's just personal preference. And I make sure that I have my registration marks off. So the font that I'm using for Merry and Christmas, and I use them as two different settings. So for Merry, I'm going to use the Kismet, and I can't get font from different places, but I think I got this Kismet font from the Silhouette store, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But and what you want to do here is, because I want the little wingdings or whatever those little things called. I really don't know what they're called, to be quite honest, but they're here. If this is just the regular text, and this is the glyphs, I guess that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. But I go in here and I find my M with the wings. And you can change the size here from small to large, and I want mine large so that I can see it. And I just go and find the M. Did I already pass it? No, here we go. There's the G. There's the M. That one doesn't have the wing, so I keep looking till I find the one that actually has the actual wing on the front of it. And here's one right here, and you can get the different, see how they have the different little wings. Like this one has a short one, this one has a really long one, and it's a little longer than that first one, so I think I want that one. And when it comes in, it's not as big as I want it, so I'm going to change it to, I think, 100. But just keep playing with it until you get to the size that you want. 120. That's still not big enough. 130. I think that might be big enough. I'm going to do it a little bit bigger. 140. Isn't that big enough? Let's try 150. And you're gonna have to play with it till you get used to messing with them to see if it's the size that you like. And then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna do the Y. And you can do them individually. You don't have to do one, type in Merry and change it. You can just do the M and then add the other text and add them together, whichever works best for you. It's all just personal preference, but just this is what I'm doing. And then that's the Y with it at the beginning, and I want one with it at the end. So this, the medium one, short, well, that's the long one with it on there. So you have to look, that's the shorter one, that's the longer one. So I want the longer one. And then we'll do the same thing. Since I made that one 150, I'll try 150 to start off with over here. And see what I get. Is that a little bit too big though? Okay, I think I like it at 135 because it's not too terribly too big as compared to the other lettering. So I'm going to leave it like that. So what I do after I get that, because I like it, I want to see how that's not welded to get, well, not welded, but it's not on to the E. I take and make a copy of it, because I make a copy of everything. I trace it, and it's easy for me to maneuver it when it's not the actual lettering. And then I trace it. And everybody does theirs differently, but this is how I do mine. And then I take this, and I always put my color in it when I'm messing with it. I don't know why I didn't pick the color up. Because I didn't have it highlighted. Then I go ahead and get these little, let me blow it up a little bit for you guys. I go in here. Oh, went too far. And I double click on this corner and I delete it, and it makes it go over there. Then I just move it up, left one, didn't see that, and I delete that one too, and I smooth it and corner it. Delete that one and see how it looks, and then it see it just goes into that one. And you can make it a little bit bigger right here if you want to. Oops. Shoot, let me, I don't know what I did. Whatever I did, it was wrong. And see how it has that little dip in it? You can take that out and see it rounded it out. Don't like that, I messed that up. Don't like that, I think I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's see if I delete it, what it looks like. Nope. So I'm gonna leave it alone like that, but you can play around with it and like put a corner on this to smooth it down and mess with it or what have you. Like on that little dot, you can make it a corner and then mess with it and make it go up or down or what have you, like that, or in and out. But for some reason, I think because I'm filming, my computer is going in slow motion, so I don't want to mess nothing up. So I am going to leave it alone and let it be just as is. So let's go back down. And it looks fine. That all looks fine how it is. I could, you know, move that over a little bit, that R into that. But I think I'm just going to let it stay how it is because it's fine to me. But you can do that, play with it and move things closer together. But I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to take this one, move it over to the side. I'm going to take this one and make a copy because I make a copy of everything so that in the event I mess it up, I always have a copy of it. So put that up there for safekeeping. Scroll back down. Now we can do the Christmas. So we're gonna go I'm gonna make Christmas green. And the font that I use for my Christmas is the Bell Shaw. And you use whatever you have in yours. You won't have the same fonts I have if you didn't buy them. But I'm sure it would be something similar. Oops. And your selection of fonts, if you have a bunch of fonts on your PC. So I'm going to use that. I like to always make mine about 11 by 6, 11 by 6, 11 by 5 generally. So let's set that right there. I copy everything. Or trace. I always call it copy, but it's trace. I always trace everything because to me some of the stuff works better with trace. I mean with the trace copy as opposed to text. So I always just trace it. But it's just your personal preference how you like to work. Because you may like to work with it as text. But I don't. I like to work with everything as, why is it not selecting it? My computer is going so slow because I'm filming my screen. There we go. Oh my gosh. That's driving me insane. Okay. Now, make a copy of that. Move it down to the bottom. I'll move it up to the top with the other one. Just so I can have it. Okay. Now here, we got 11. We're going to make this 5. We're going to make this 11. And then we're going to center it to the page and leave it there. Let's delete that one and make the copy the same size so we're working apples to apples. Alright, then we're going to take our little Mary that we got here. We're going to send this Christmas to the back. Bring this Mary to the front. And we're going to make her bigger. And you can make it as big as you want it, whatever size floats your boat. I don't really have a personal preference. I just slap it up here and see what it looks like. And then just go from there. And I generally highlight them both and center them to each other like that and see if I like it. And if not, then I move it around. Let's close that off so we can see it. And I don't, it's up too high. I think I want it a little bit lower. So I'll come here, and I like this to move it instead of the arrow keys on the keyboard because I can set it up to not move as much, because sometimes the keyboard one moves too much at a time. So I like mine on 0.010. Works for me. And you have, see this one, you have 2 left on this side, 2 left on that side, and this hangs over a little bit and a little bit over there. So I think that's pretty much almost centered. The center of it would be 6 with this little green thing, but it's not quite there. Let's move it over there and see what it looks like. I don't think, I'm just looking at how it's hung off on each side and what's left, so and what looks right for me, as opposed to it being directly centered. That looks pretty good to me. So what I do here is I want to move it down for a minute, and I want to offset this. So excuse me, I go here to the offset key here, and you can do them, they up at the top somewhere too, but I do everything from the side, and I offset it, and that's, I don't want it that big, so I keep coming down to get to whatever I want it to sit in. That's at 55. I think I want it at about 60. Yep. So I move it, and as you can see, it has all these little things in here. I'm going to leave them because I like them in mine. That's a personal preference. You can take those out if you don't want those in there. And I'm going to group it to make sure everything is together. Then I'm going to pull it. I'm going to make a copy because I'm anal. Don't know what might happen. Stop. Can you please stop? Oh God, because my screen is taping. It is just, there we go, going so slow. Alright, so we look and see where it's set up at, and see if we like it. We'll throw this back up in here with it. Let's see, hey, is that a good spot for it? I think I want it up just a little bit more, because I want this in part of the H. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just move it up a tad. I think I'm moving to Christmas and not the Mary. Which really, I guess I could move that, but that's not what I want to move. Alright, so now we got that Mary, that M as part of the H, and let's put this up here in it and see how it looks. Okay, looks good, I like it. So take the red back out, put it down here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this offset. We're going to make it white so you can see it, and what we're going to do is group both of them, or highlight both of them, not group them. And then we're going to go up here to Object, Modify, and Subtract. So we're going to take the Mary, this part of it, away from the Christmas, and make sure that your Mary is on top of it, and it subtracts it. And once it's highlighted, don't do anything, just let it stay there, and then just group it while it's right here, or make it a compound path. Either one, it does the exact same thing. That way it stays together. Now you just take your mirror and put it up here and sit it inside of there and make sure it's set wherever you want it set, and that just makes it look like it's a highlight into the lettering. And that's pretty much it. As long as it's centered how you want it centered, you can play with it and move it and make sure that it is exactly where you want it. But it looks centered to me pretty much how I want it. There. And then after I do that, I pretty much just come back in and I group it together so that if I need to change the size of it to a smaller size for a smaller shirt, or make it into a sticker or what have you, it's already grouped together, and then I just save my work. And that is pretty much it. So thank you guys for stopping by my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you all in my very next video tomorrow. Bye bye.